Good morning and a warm welcome to our live technology showcase, which is part of our Anything in Print series of events. Now, you may have thought the Olympics are over, but today we're going to show you more gold and silver from Japan as part of the continual evolution and development of Ricoh products and solutions. My name's Tim Carter and I'm responsible for the commercial print division within Ricoh. And today I'm going to be joined by my colleague Ian Casey, production print specialist, who's live from our showroom in Telford. Today, Ian is gearing up for another Olympic performance, showcasing speed, agility, and the highest quality and innovation, deserving of a true podium position, a top podium position, of course. We've now done a number of these live technology showcases over the last year, and they've always received fantastic feedback. So I hope you'll really enjoy what we've prepared for you today. As with previous Anything in Print webinars, we'd like to keep this session as interactive as possible. We'll start with a short overview of the market opportunity for CMYK plus printing, but once we move on to the live showcase, please don't hesitate to send any questions you may have during the demonstration. You can submit them through the Q&A engagement tool, and we'll try to answer as many of these at the end of the product session. However, if a fuller answer is needed or we run out of time, it will be answered later via email. Also, please don't forget that at the very end of the webcast, one of you will win a gold and silver starter pack that consists of everything you need to print with the new metallic colours. So please stay tuned for that. Also, an on-demand version of today's recording will be sent to you after the event, and additional help materials are available in the handout section. Okay, there's the starter gun, so let's begin. And you'll be relieved, no more Olympic analogies. Next slide, please. Increasing evidence shows that smart and creative campaigns incorporating print in a forward-thinking way represent the best opportunity for a marketing campaign return on investment. Last year, we hosted several events where marketeers and creatives gave their view on the impact that print can make when used alongside digital channels. But as IT strategy research suggests, print as a medium needs to be even more relevant and impactful and delivering higher value and cut through. This presents a great opportunity for digital print technology users, particularly those capable of printing CMYK+. Innovations in print technology play a vital part here. Print enhancement techniques, including supporting increasing media types and finishing and embellishment, have evolved so much over the last 5 to 10 years, driving more value and developing print as a truly complementary media with qualities that stand out and create true impact. These techniques include spot color, gamut expansion, metallics, fluorescent, foil, textured coatings, plus many others. There are, as you well know, two basic strategies for a print service provider. You can focus on either driving value upwards or cost downwards. Subsequently, what we're presenting to you today is to help you support the value-add approach, which can help you drive your revenues, but most importantly, your profit margins up. Next slide, please. It's clear to me from customer and market feedback, the growing trend towards CMYK plus and print embellishments will continue. I see this more and more when speaking with customers, prospects and industry bodies. It's predicted that in their efforts to improve customer satisfaction, foster loyalty and differentiate themselves from competitors, enterprises will increasingly incorporate embellishments like whiting, metallics, foils and textures into their printed direct mail campaigns and marketing collateral in general. With a value-driven strategy, you'll be delivering quality improvements. And according to Infotem's research, 30% of all color pages, that's both offset and digital, includes some type of special effects enhancement. But here's the rub. Only 0.5% of these pages are being enhanced with a digital process today. This means there's a huge opportunity for digital print enhancements and a potential to migrate specialized offset pages. What's more, most digital print enhancements are produced in line with a digital press, and profit margins on these can be really high. That's because your clients perceive them to be worth more and have more impact and generate better cut-through than standard CMYK print, and therefore they and their clients are willing to pay more. Actually, the same Infotrends research suggests that print buyers are willing to pay between 25 and 80% more for CMYK plus printed products. A fantastic opportunity. According to another research from Keypoint Intelligence, the most popular embellishments among respondents who were considering the purchase of a printer with CMYK plus capabilities included metallics and clear varnish. Now, we know from our own experience that these key capabilities really enhance promotional products in the fashion and retail industries. Among respondents to the same survey who already own digital printers that enable CMYK+, the most common applications that are sold with these embellishments including business cards and invitations. So as the market further expands and technologies continue to improve, CMYK Plus enhancements will likely be incorporated into an ever-widening range of applications. So let's review some of them. Next slide, please. I mentioned that the retail industry is really embracing print, driving traffic to their online and on-site stores through catalogues or newly termed specialogues, magazines and direct mail. This is something you may want to pursue. So based on feedback we receive when speaking to creators, make sure to mention the following. Oversized media. Remind them not everything needs to be A4, A5 or DL. Creativity can be found outside of standard sizing. Synthetic, specialty and magnetic materials. Ricoh digital technology is not limited to standard paper and board. Clear, white and invisible red toners. Inspire them with unique applications. And then of course, variable data print and personalization, using print to communicate specifically and uniquely to the individual. Next slide, please. One reason agencies leaned away from digital printing in the past years was a fear of not being able to match brand colors, or that it would be inconsistent across different substrates. But being able to blend fifth colors like neon toners or gold and silver with CMYK, allowing them to match more Pantones digitally and run more applications without minimum quantities, is now a significant benefit. This, according to our network of experts, has been a huge relief for marketing budgets and time constraints. Next slide, please. Designers and marketeers love the high impact that premium print techniques deliver. However, many believe that these effects and substrates can cost an outrageous amount and therefore may shy away from it if budgets are constrained. But this puts you in a real position to educate them, deliver the good news of the affordability with digital printing, and help them deliver some outstanding results. The opportunity really exists to create that genuine wow factor. So there's no better time to engage with your marketing agencies, promote the value approach, and leverage the anticipated growth opportunities now we're returning to some form of normality. So hopefully that's given you some food for thought. So let's now move across to our facility in Telford and see the machine in action. So Ian, are you over there and poised to work your magic?
We're all ready to go in Telford. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Telford. So just in the first part of this little this live event, I just thought I'd like to run down the machine and explain to people that maybe haven't currently seen the 7200 technology, just what advantages we've developed in terms of 72 versus 71 and maybe competitor machines. The focus of the upgrade for me between the 71 and the 72, the Japanese have really gone in and looked at ideas and ways of making production printing and uptime a lot easier on the machine. So it's very much been focused around making the prints easier and the job easier for the operator. So starting at the very front of the machine here, a brand new LCT with the extension tray on it, giving us the 700mm by 330mm sheet. You will now see there's been a simple lid added to it, just makes operation of that unit so much easier. So a very basic one, but very useful. So talking about media now on the 7200 range, we have a maximum media weight of 360 gram, But again, an improvement on the 70 when we're now running at full machine rated speed right through the range. So again, a little improvement in production in those higher weights. Moving on to the printer itself, we've now got a brand new operators panel, far bigger, full Android system, and it really has changed the way that we can work. It makes operation easier, it makes training easier, and everybody that's seen it just think, you know, it's absolutely superb and makes the job so much easier. So the printer itself, we have a 7200 and a 7210. So we have an 85 and a 95 page a minute machine. You can buy 4-color, 5-color, or there is actually a model that can be bought as a 4-color and can be upgraded in the field to a 5th color. If the customer's maybe not quite ready to make that leap at the time of purchase, it could be done at a later date. Okay, so if we start and look at the actual engine itself, anybody that's seen our technology before, 71 or 72, at a glance, things have not changed an awful lot. We've still got our yellow, magenta, cyan, black toners. And on this instance, in here, in our 5th color, we've got our gold toner loaded. A 5-color machine. So of the 7 colors we can run as specials, clearly we can only have one loaded at a time. So some more changes. Our registration system was upgraded. The registration now runs a rotary gate system, which has come down from our previous flagship 9100 model, which has enhanced our registration. But then at the back of the fuser unit now, we've added a new unit. It contains 2 contact image sensors, and it really is the best piece of technology I've seen Ricoh squeeze into a press in the 7 years I've been working for them. The first thing it does, it gives us the ability to now do a calibration in line. So we still ask for the calibration of the fiery, prints 3 sheets, and those sheets are scanned in line, report back to the fire as a standard calibration, at which point they can be okayed and utilized. The other side of it, though, is what we call a magnification registration wizard. So we would maybe do this at install training, but certainly show operators how to do it. You introduce a new media to the library, whether it be SRA3, it even supports up to the 700mm sheet. We can run this magnification wizard. It takes approximately 10 to 15 sheets to run. And what it will do, it will analyze the sheet, looking at any distortion in sheet size in both length and width, simplex and duplex, and counteract that. We can actually print the image at a different size to counteract any deformation in the sheets. One other thing it looks at as well is also image skew. So in the past, printing on a 700mm sheet in a simplex mode twice was very difficult to achieve registration. So this system will remove the skew. And one thing I forgot to mention, the 700mm sheet from the Banner LCT will now duplex on this engine. So in terms of maybe a direct mail rolled mailer where we have names on fronts and backs, the fact that we can now run it in a duplex mode gives us far more security, and it just makes things far more easier to print and more profitable, I believe, because it's just running there. You don't have to be stood watching the machine all the time. So if we look at the printing units themselves, on the 7100, on the left-hand side here would be our standard 5th color printing unit. At that time, we would offer a clear toner and also a white toner. So the clear toner first, that was designed and used and utilized in many ways. But the idea is, one of them is to try and create what you may call a spot UV simulation to try and enhance a design. It can be used as a flood fill, in which case you may think that on a short run, you may want to just do a flood clear varnish instead of a laminating the job. But because it is a 5th color plate that is designed such as InDesign, really we can set that clear toner to work anywhere, down to the finest text. We can select images or graphics or anything that's cut out. So you really can play with where you want to put this clear toner down. If anybody in the repro department has ever done a spot UV plate for a litho press, essentially it works in exactly the same way. So we're not dealing with kind of rocket science technology. And that fifth color plate design would be used, or the theory of that will be used across all the colors that we will talk about later on. So back to the launch of the 7100, and we had our white toner. And this was utilized on an awful lot of cases, just simply printing some nice designs on a variation of colored backgrounds. However, because of the printing sequence, if we needed to print anything using white as a mask in order to support a CMYK image such as these, it was a two-pass process, which in turn brought in questions around registration and wastage and so on. So again, an upgrade on the 7200 was that we can now actually switch our fifth color position for white with the black separation. We just simply reverse the printing order. So in that case, we get white to underpin as a mask behind the CMYK. Anybody out there thinking the same as I did, trying to swap over whites and black sounds a little dangerous in terms of contamination, but we changed the hardware physically. The toner supply is never broken, so contamination is not a worry. But it really gave us here the opportunity to start working with more cleverer designs in terms of white and CMYK. And certainly, if anybody was working with one of our partners, ColorLogic basically provide a swatch of colors. And as my friend Andy Campbell described it, this is a color communication tool. The idea being that you could actually print this artwork on your Ricoh press. It can be branded and then actually shown to a creative. Each of these swatches carries an ID, similar to you would find in a Pantone book. In a litho scenario, we cannot and nobody can measure color in terms of metallics. It can be designed, put on press, it's not right, we change it, we put it back on press. It's a very lengthy process. But by being able to say to a designer, pick your color, we've got these similar swatches are loaded on your Mac and your InDesign and your CS6 programs. So you can actually select this swatch, put it on the press and print it. So this kind of print is done using metallic media. So we use the white, not so much as an underpin, but to mask out the background. So that is a really effective and clever way of replicating what I would say is a foiled application through a genuine litho process. Again, another application for white that I do know of, this is an envelope application, but there was talk of one of our direct mail users in the recent times purchasing one of these machines to print envelopes, and they were looking at doing a 50,000 run on colored envelopes using white toner, simply believing, and their research had proven that they were getting better response, they were getting people to open envelopes, which is, I guess, in the direct mail environment is exactly what we're after. So those were the original colors. Moving on from there, and again around the set times of the 7200 launches, we came up with two neon colors. There is a neon yellow and a neon pink. Now, I'll just show you a couple of samples. I'm hoping that the camera is trying to give you a true representation of these colors. The neon yellow and the neon pink, how they can influence design. So that's a lime green, which would be incredibly difficult to print out a process. But then just a couple of samples showing the pink being utilized in an image. The Touch 7 software is amazing how it works. A packaging sample, again, showing neon pink. So something that's really going to jump off the page. And, hopefully that's going to catch the eye of customers and really get them interested in the engine itself. So just, again, on the communication side, Ricoh are very, very close to launching what we're calling a Touch 7 swatch book. And again, working very similar to a Pantone book, each color in there would have its own specific reference. So rather than trying to guess colors in terms of when you're using neon pink or neon yellow, you can pick one from here, show it to a prospective designer, end user, whatever, and there's an element of guarantee because we've already printed this design. So the idea of Touch 7 is we can work within an image in a Photoshop plugin to influence an image, to remove magenta and replace with pink on different levels, or incorporate the yellow in different areas. So we're increasing the gamut for sure. One little test file that I did receive a while ago was, if anybody asked me, can you print orange on a digital press, CMYK? It's a nightmare color, always has been. But this particular sample utilizes yellow and neon pink. Now, the orange produced, I would not say is a Pantone 021, but it's very, very near to that kind of color. And, you know, it's something that we've shown it to a few customers, and, you know, it really is a bit of an eye-opener. So this is the Touch 7 and the neon colors. So the main focus of the webinar now was to move on and talk about the latest colors, which we're all really excited about, which is our gold and silver. So they've been a fair time in coming, but they're here. They're loaded on our machine in Telford, so we are able to demonstrate them if anybody wants to come and see them live, because whilst we'll do our best to show you the reflective nature of the toner, it's just a question of what our camera can pick up, and of course what your screens are actually delivering at your end. But initial samples that we've printed, I've shown them to salespeople, to engineers and customers, and everybody's been very, very happy in terms of the reflective nature that the gold and silver is producing. Now, unfortunately, you can't tell me whether you can see that or not, but I'm really hoping that you can. Remembering that the gold and silver design, if anybody's worked with a white or a clear in the past, it's going to be exactly the same process. So again, you could work in InDesign, you could work in Illustrator and Photoshop to encompass all these effects. Now, the gold and silver, as the white, can be moved into that right-hand position. So the idea is that we can print an element of gold behind a CMYK. That's just another little sample file we have, and it sort of reminds me of the back page of a car brochure when you're picking your metallic paint color for your new car. So, as I say, gold underneath and then a mixture of CMYK on top. We can play around with gold densities and really achieve some quite stunning effects. Just the final gold. So in terms of applications, I honestly believe applications are endless. We could think about invitations, we could think about packaging, we could think about any kind of flyer. The one thing that has been picked up on is using silver toner in terms of some sort of wedding invites and so on. But really, we really do need to get the designers into this, because a designer will look at this and then be able to fully utilize their skills on a Mac, for example, generate these designs, and then the print becomes very, very simple. Again, we can swap the toners over, a 10-minute process to swap from pink to yellow to clear to, you know, it's a very straightforward process. Operators, as I say, 10 minutes, so it's not a massive impact on production time. But I'd like to think that we are here, the term embellishment get used an awful lot, but I'd also like to think that we're talking that we could hopefully sell and generate a margin back into the print to really try and make some profits by doing a little more work but getting far better results. So those are the 6 colors that we've got on show at the moment. I haven't got a sample with me, unfortunately, of the invisible red, and really, if I were to show it in the camera and you saw it, I believe that the technology had failed already. But there is the invisible red out there. So that's a security ink which is sensitive to black light, so it can be printed as I say, as a security process on ticketing and that kind of thing to prevent any kind of forgery. So that's really where we are. I will just show you, this is a latest sample that we came off. This is using the gold toner on our Mac sheet size. This is 700mm by 330. As I said earlier, this could be duplexed if required. So really, I just hope that that's sort of opened your eyes to the true potential of this colour. I'd love to see as many of you as possible come down to Telford, bring your designs. I'll talk to you about it before, how to create the designs, but come along and we'll show you it printing. We'll show you how to change the colours and so on. And then I think really, you know, face to face, you will see the true benefits of the toner. So our little sample table here, this is an interesting one here, because I often get asked about gold and silver and in terms of media and what do we need and how do we support it. Well, the stuff that you've seen so far, a lot of it's printed on silks and glosses, which is important because the media will affect the level of reflection from the toner. However, these samples, again, you may not quite be able to see it, but this is a very, very matte, dark blue piece of card. And what we've done here, it shows two things for me. One, the density of the white and its opacity, but also even that gold on there, it still retains its reflective nature. So media is something that really we're playing with, experimenting with, and getting different results each time we're using it. So it's only been with us for a couple of months, so I believe the products that we'd look to print and create and show you guys will expand as we go. So Sophie's just going to run down this table now to give you a closer look. Well, I'm just going to start up the press, and then hopefully we'll see some gold print coming through. Unfortunately, with the covers have all been open for a while, so it might just take us a second or two to get the press up to temperature and then printing. So in terms of samples out there at the moment, the PP sales specialists are now carrying packs, and I'm sure they're itching to get in to see you guys. We're very excited about this gold and silver. So let's get in to see you guys. Let's show you it. And first thing, I'd love to hear your feedback, because when I first saw it, as I say, the reflective nature of the toner really did quite impress me. And I hope it would be the same for you. So there we go. We've got banner sheet material, printing with gold behind, CMYK on top. So it's not affecting machine speed, it's still running at full rated speed. That's running now on just on a 300 gram silk. So I hope that has given you a little insight into where we are at Rico with these special colours at the moment. I'll pass back to you, Tim, for any questions maybe later on.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, and fantastic. I think it certainly does bring these opportunities to life. It enables us to get a much better understanding of the type of applications and opportunities. And now, as you say, with the addition of gold and silver to the neons, the white, the clears, the invisible reds, there's a whole range of new applications that our customers and our prospects can now give consideration to. And I would absolutely vouch for the quality and the impact that gold and silver creates, having seen those samples and the printed output that you produced previously. I think it takes our customers, our prospects, into a new area that they can discover that ultimately will generate higher revenue, but most importantly, higher profitability as well. So thanks for that. Now, during the demonstration, you'll be pleased to hear that we've had a number of questions from our audience today, and it is a significant audience in terms of numbers. We're really able to visit. So the first question, Ian, for you is, how long will it take to change from gold to silver?
It's just like any other color change. It's literally 10 minutes. In a straight fifth color position, 10 minutes. If you're wishing to switch to you might then wish to switch the fifth color and the black separation. It's another 10 minutes. So it's not a massive amount. As long as we plan it, we don't want to be changing it every job, if I'm honest. But it's perfectly manageable in a production environment. Okay,
thank you. Next question is, how do your metallic effects compare to a foil, for example, that would be produced conventionally?
Well, firstly, I would go back to the sample that we looked at earlier on. The color logic idea is printing on a metallic paper. We mask out the areas that we don't want to see the metallic, the foil effect coming through. If we leave the white open in that separation, you can then see the foil. That is as near as we're ever going to get to a true foil. The silver and the gold has been designed to, it does carry this reflective content. Now, if anybody's expected it to replace a foil, I don't think we're quite there yet. However, in terms of foiling and its cost and everything else, I think it's something that our customers and ourselves are experimenting with. We need to get feedback from the field, because foiling's fantastic and it does create some wonderful effects, but it's a long-winded and expensive process. So this goes some of the way towards foiling. I don't think it'll replace it, but it's certainly a far easier process to print.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree. I don't think it is a replacement. It's a good simulation, but it's a great digital alternative. And as you say, the efficiencies and the time savings of being able to produce it in line in one process, there's massive advantages there. Okay.
Absolutely.
Next question for you, Ian. Do the metallic toners need pre-treated media?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We are, as I say, as I've tried to point out, a lot of the samples we've done are on silk. We have done, Andy Campbell provided some samples printed on this really dark board. It really is, we are experimenting and working with different medias. There's no pre-treatment. When I'm out in the field talking to customers and training and things like that, these devices are running litho grade stocks pretty much 95% of the time. The only pre-treated or sensitive digital stuff we'd recommend is if you were using something like a synthetic, which needs to be able to handle the heat of the fuser. But generally speaking, these are all standard stocks.
Fantastic. So it really does broaden the number of opportunities in that on that basis. Next question, I think is probably one that I might provide a response to. The question is, how does this compare to Xerox Iridesse? Obviously, we're aware that there are competitive solutions that are out there in the market today, namely Xerox, HP, and Kodak. In terms of price performance, I would suggest, Dan, we would be able to validate that this really, the 7200X now with gold and silver and the ability to produce the other special colours does stand apart. And I would believe, and I think we'd be able to demonstrate to you that in terms of price performance, it stands out on its own now. But what I would encourage you to do is as Ian has suggested, and the invitation is an open invitation, please come and see us in Telford. We're equipped, we're able, and we're absolutely motivated to want to demonstrate the capabilities to you. And that's probably the best way of being able to make those comparisons. But in developing the additional gold and silver, in conjunction with all of the other class-leading capabilities that the 7200 has to offer, we believe that now the 7200 will be a class apart from everything else that's available. Okay, next question. What is the maximum of format of page you can support?
What is the maximum format?
Yeah, a page you can support.
Page. Well, I don't know about page level, but this is the machine that we are looking at now. I would say is the configuration that sold, I don't know, 70% of the time. I would think just using the banner extension. So the banner extension gives us the ability to go to a 700mm long sheet by 330mm wide. However, it has a limited capacity of 1,000 sheets at 80 gram, but there are other feed systems now available. You could have a 2-draw system that will feed the 700mm sheet, and indeed you can go to some of the third-party finishers feeders that we can link to, and that will give us the ability to print up to 1260mm on this sheet. On the 7200 range, the 700mm is the maximum length that we can duplex. Anything above that would revert back to simplex printing or work and turn.
Okay, all right, that's fantastic. So I'm assuming landscape A4 is supported, 6-page gatefold.
Absolutely, an interesting application that we were asked to test, and it worked really, really well. As I mentioned earlier, on the 7100 2-pass without the advanced registration system and the magnification wizard, image skew was a bit of a problem. And simply, if you think about talking to a litho printer and asking him to grip a sheet there and print, he'd look at you like you'd gone mad. Now, this new magnification removes the skew. So the application that we tested was we actually bought SRA2 paper, and we cut that in half in the opposite direction, and giving us a 225 deep sheet by 640 in length. So we've got a 225 millimeter lead edge, if you like. Ran the magnification wizard on that and achieved registration less than 0.5 mil. So by doing that, you can print your landscape A4 sections. The paper's just cut in half, 0 wastage, and then you've got this landscape format, which up to now it always looks nice, but it's difficult to produce and there's wastage involved. So I truly believe that now we can offer that landscape solution, or indeed, as Tim mentioned, maybe a 6-page A4 or any sort of roll folded mailer up to that 700 mil in length.
Great, thanks, Ian. And the final question, but I think you've already answered it, you may want to answer it again, is are you in a position to demo gold and silver now?
Absolutely. It's loaded in the machine. As you saw earlier on, the gold's loaded at the moment. We have got a range of sample files, which I'm sure will expand. Anybody that comes to see it, you can take these sample files away with pleasure. But anybody that's really interested, I challenge you. Let's see if you could put some artwork together. If you're interested in that kind of thing, get in touch. We'll talk you through the design process. As I say, it's nothing different to how it's worked in the past, but it would really be nice to see what you guys could come up with in terms of design. And let's just see how far we can push this gold and silver.
Great, thanks. I'd absolutely endorse that, Ian. We're open for business. We're able to demonstrate the capabilities and help you understand the improved business opportunities and expanded applications that's now enabled through the technology. So I think that's the final question. Now, there's one small matter that needs to be concluded as well, and that is a prize draw. So one of the lucky members of our audience today will receive an upgrade which will enable them to print gold or silver immediately, and the cost of that will be covered by RICO. So I think you've got a mechanism to be able to draw some numbers out of a hat, Ian. So
not quite a mechanism. Number 59.
Number 59. So if I can ask the events team to see what customer number 59 relates to, and in a couple of seconds, hopefully I'll be able to announce who the lucky winner will be. So just give me a couple of minutes, we'll wait for the feedback. And yeah, I'm pleased to say that the winner is Springfield. So congratulations to the guys at Springfield. We'll arrange to have the gold or silver upgrade shipped to you, and you will be one of the first customers in the UK who will be able to produce that on a commercial basis. So congratulations to you, and I wish you every success in the business expansion opportunities that you're going to get from that. So just to wrap up and just to summarise, firstly, I wanted to thank Ian and the team in Telford. I think you've done a great job in bringing the technology to life and being able to, within the constraints you've got through the camera, be able to demonstrate the true capabilities of fifth colour and the metallic capabilities with gold and silver. So thanks to you and Sophie and the team in Telford for bringing it to life. I'd also like to thank everybody who took time out to attend today. You've certainly attended in numbers. There's a significant number of you who joined this webinar, and we genuinely do appreciate your time, your efforts, and your commitment. We also will really encourage you to consider what's been discussed and said today. Without a doubt, evidence demonstrates that there's continued improvement in the technology, offering increased capabilities and applications. As we come out of lockdown, as restrictions get lifted, inevitably the opportunities for sale, for print, and for print to continue to reinvent itself will continue. So what better time, what better opportunity than to engage with RICO and understand how we can help and support your growth applications, particularly if you want to pursue the added value business approach that we've alluded to. So with that, I just want to say thank you one more time. Thank you for your time. We genuinely hope that the session that we put on for you today has been enjoyable, informative, and also memorable. And we look forward to picking up with you in the future and looking at how we can help and support you. So thanks very much. And with that, I'll formally close the webinar.